What's up, everybody? I had the best weekend ever. I spent it at Heroes and Villains Fan Fest, so I thought I would do a little review slash my experience there. So here it goes. So they announced this event on my birthday, which was in July, and I was super excited about it because was the first, wearing the shirt, this was the first event of its kind, Heroes and Villains, and it's thrown by the same people who throw Walker Stalker Con. So immediately I bought tickets right away. There was limited tickets for Platinum and Gold, which is understandable because it was at San Jose Convention Center. It's not the biggest convention center, so I decided to splurge and I went for a Gold Pass, and there was a lot of perks that came with that. It was way short lines, like literally a couple people in front of you, if that, and that was only for photos. Pretty much not the front row, but towards the front of panels. You get a free t-shirt. It was just a bunch of cool stuff. Oh, also, most important thing, 2 autographs and 2 pictures. So there was a lot of benefits to the gold package, and I'm really glad I got it. So I got there with any VIP. You got in at 9 o'clock. I didn't get there till 10. That was my own fault. I was running late that morning. So I got there and I walked in and I was just stunned. You walk in and there's literally like a zip line inside of the convention center. Like when you go up the stairs, like you walk in the room, and it's just like a zip line. And it was crazy. And besides that, they had bungee jumping, they had like a villain shootout thing where you got this little like BB gun thing and you shut out the villain. What else did they have? They had the panels in one room. Everything was all in one room, which was cool. So you didn't have to like run back and forth down the convention center trying to find stuff. So that was really cool. They had photo ops all the way on the other side, and it was cool because there was the photo ops and then there was the raised stage. And the raised stage, they did interviews with Stephen Amell, David Ramsey, just pretty much everybody. So when you're waiting in line for photos, like if you didn't have VIP, you're not going to get bored because you're watching like an interview right there. You're so close. So that part was really cool. So I knew it was the first convention of its kind. So I mean, obviously they've done Walker Stalker, but this was a lot different. This was different cast. Walker Stalker's never been to San Jose. They've been to San Francisco, so it was different. So I knew, they're gonna have some kinks to work out. So I knew that going in. So right when I got in, I went straight. I saw Stephen Amell doing signings, and I was like, "Whoa, that's cool!" Like, he's there before the convention really opens for everybody, because it didn't open until 10:30. It was about like 9:50. So I was like, cool. And I saw the gold line. There was no one in it. So I was like, sweet. I am just gonna get this done with, and that way I can go on and enjoy the other stuff. So when you walk in and you're gold or platinum or whatever, they hand you 2 cards that are autographs and 2 cards for a photo. And it says on the website that the autograph ones, you just exchange it. It's like money, because when you go to the booth for the autograph, you just pay them, usually. I don't think you can buy autographs in advance. But, so we had these tickets. So I had these tickets. I walked to the front of the line, to the gold line, and the volunteer says, sorry, like you have to exchange that. The line for Steven's really long. The gold line wasn't, but the Stephen Amell VIP line was long. So I was like, okay, no problem. Like, where do I go? And they're like, oh, there's a table. I saw it. He pointed it out. So I went there. I swear, that line was longer than the Stephen Amell line to meet him. So I was like, okay. So I started waiting in that line. I'm like watching the time because Stephen Amell has a photo op at 10:20 for his VIPs. And I think general admission at like 10:30, 11, all the way to like 11ish. And they told me that I could do the photo op for the general admission, and they'll just like walk you to the front of the line. So I wasn't really worried about time. So I'm waiting in line to get a ticket to meet Steven. So I'm waiting in line, and then this volunteer comes over, and she's like, sorry, like this line's too long, it's a fire hazard. We're just gonna hand you a ticket here. And so I'm like, okay, like this is really confusing. And she's like, so you're gonna come back when the number on the thing is less than your number. So she gave me my ticket, and it was 26. And I was like, okay. She's like, just walk around, go have fun. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'll walk around. I went to the photo op, got my picture done with Steven, which was amazing. He is seriously the nicest guy ever. If you have an opportunity to meet him, you should. So the photo line went extremely fast. You know, they had platinum go first and then gold, so it literally took like, I want to say 5 minutes, if that. And so right after your picture, you walk out, you walk around the corner, and your picture's printed already. Like, it's ready for you. So I was like, awesome, this is amazing. So, you know, I didn't kill any time. I just grabbed my picture, and right there you could buy the plastic covers for the picture. So I bought a couple of those because I wanted to save my autographs and pictures, not get them all mixed up, you know, with fingerprints and stuff. So I was like, okay. So then I just killed some time. I watched a David Ramsey panel thing that they had on the elevated stage. I went to Artist Alley. I checked out all the art. I was like, this is awesome. And then I was like, all right, let's see how much progress they made on the little ticket thing. So I go up there and there's no number. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Like, they said there was going to be a number. So I wait in line again and I ask, and they're like, oh, like, sorry, come back at 11:45, we'll have a number up. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I'm just confused. I was like, you know, I thought, you know, with the gold pass, like, you're supposed to, like, cut the line, not cut the lines, but you have your own line, it's supposed to go faster. And they're like, oh, sorry, like, you know, this is, you know, we're trying to work everything. I'm like, yeah, you know, no problem, that's fine. So I go, walk away, and I try to decide what autograph I want to do. And I a different person. So I picked Robbie Amell, Firestorm Duff. I love Robbie. I've loved him ever since, like, you know, Disney Channel or Nickelodeon, whatever he was on. It was Nickelodeon. And so I was like, cool. So there was a gold line. There was no one in it. So I was like, okay. So I asked the volunteer, I was like, do I have to exchange this for, like, a ticket or something? And they're like, and they looked at me weird. They're like, no, you just use it like cash. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you. And so I handed it over. So then I go up, and then I see on the flyer it says you can get a selfie and an autograph for $60. And so I'm like, cool. So, and a selfie by itself was $25. So I gave her $25. She's like, no, we're gonna honor the deal since you have an autograph. It's only $20. I was like, that's awesome. So I got my selfie with Robbie. I got to meet him. He's a very nice guy. I was trying not to, like, gush. I was just trying to tell him, like, I'm a big fan. And it was awesome meeting him. He was so down to earth. So after that, I walked away, did some shopping. I actually got, I love these grab bags. As you know, I subscribe to a few. So I saw this at one of the vendors and I had to buy it. So I'll show you kind of what I got. It was $30 and it was well worth it. I got Batman, my favorite. I love Batman. I was hoping for Batman stuff. Literally everything in here is Batman except for one thing. And then Robin. I got a little Robin, a little Gotham. And then I got Harley Quinn, who I love. This alone was like $20. I looked it up online. So I know I definitely got my money's worth for this bag. And then last but not least, kind of one of those mystery mini Dragon Ball Z figures. I don't watch Dragon Ball Z, so I will definitely be giving that away, but I thought this bag was pretty cool. It was a big bag. I picked the heaviest one, so I was really excited about that. So I killed a lot of time waiting for us to meet Stephen Amell. So I watched some panels, I walked around, I grabbed lunch, and then I decided who I wanted to take my second picture with, which was Paul Blackthorne, but his sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. His photo op wasn't till 2:30, so I was like, okay, like, kill more time. And the convention closed at 5:30, so I was getting kind of like, okay, when are they gonna put up a number? And then finally, I want to say like 12:30 or 1, they put up a number, and it was, as long as it was below the number, and the number was 002, and I had like 026. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna be here all day, like, which I don't mind, but it's like the point of the gold pass was kind of so you didn't have to wait in line all day. And the way the volunteer explained it to me was the ticket, it's like holding your place in line. So I was very confused by this. I had 2 different volunteers tell me, like, no, I'm sorry, like, you have to wait, it's a fire hazard with the line. And I was just like, okay, like, I was just very confused by it all. This was my first time getting a gold pass for any, like, I've gotten VIP before for Wizard World, and I went to one Walker Stalker, but I had general admission, so I wasn't really sure how it all worked. So I was just going off what the volunteers were telling me. So then I was like, all right, I got more time to kill, so I ended up buying a Paul Blackthorne autograph, which was like $40, so worth it. again, didn't have to wait in line. Like, I was in my own gold line and there was no one in front of me. So I met Paul. He was a really sweet guy, super nice, down to earth. He had an accent, which I had no idea that he had. So it kind of like threw me, but he was so nice. And I'm a big fan of his, like, especially Captain Lance on Arrow, like, I think has come the farthest from all the characters. And he's one of my favorites for sure on the show. So it was very awesome to meet him, and just told him I was a big fan and how amazing he was, and he was very humble, and I really liked that. So then, killed some more time, went back to the thing. The number was like 10, so I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have my photo at 2:25, so I'm kind of just, so finally I wait in the long line again, and I was just like, hey, you know, I don't think I'm going to be able to stay till 5:30, and they said even till then, like, you might not get in today. I was like, I'm a little confused, like, I got the gold, and right when I said that, the guy, like, his eyes went wide. He's like, oh, you have a gold, you're supposed to have a red ticket, and I was like, I didn't even know there was a red ticket, I just knew there was blue and yellow. So he pulled out this, like, stack of red tickets out of, I don't know where, and he's like, I'm so sorry, like, here's your ticket, you don't have to wait, you just go straight in. So I was like, I was thankful that I could finally go in, but I was kind of like, it was a little disorganized with the whole Stephen Amell, because nobody else, like, it was just Stephen Amell where you had to have these tickets, and John Barrowman, but I didn't get a John Barrowman autograph, but it was just very confusing, and it was just miscommunication, I think, between the volunteers, which is understandable. Like, it's the first time, so I'm not mad about it. I was just like, okay, like, this is confusing, so I ended up literally walking right up. I did not have to wait in line, and I met Steven, and again, he was very humble, and he's such a nice guy, and he really cares about his fans. He's like, thank you so much, like, thank you for coming. So it was all worth it. You know, just that one confusion thing just got me confused, because I had never had Gold Pass. So, but besides that, the convention, the con, Heroes and Villains Fan Fest was amazing. I will definitely be going back. I hope they come back to San Jose. They put a lot of work into it. I could tell, like, the volunteers, they were so nice, so helpful. Like, anytime you had a question, they're like, yeah, like, they're right there to help you, you know? And, you know, I feel like a newbie. Like, I just started going to cons in January, so this is my 4th one this year. So I feel like now that I have my feet wet, next year I'm starting to make a list, and it's a lot longer than I thought it would be, of which cons I'm trying to go to. So I'm really excited, and I know Heroes and Villains Fan Fest is going to be in New York in January, and Stephen Amell slipped a little secret that they're coming to Chicago sometime next year. So I recommend, if it's coming near you, definitely go. You should go, have a blast, do the zip line, do everything. Like, don't just go in and just, like, watch people do it. Do it. Like, you feel like a superhero. Like, I saw John Barrowman doing the indoor bungee jumping and, like, having a Nerf gun and, like, fighting. It was so cool. The celebrities were so interactive. Like, they were just walking around, having fun like everybody else. So I would give this convention a 10 out of 10, and I will definitely be there next year.